Hi, I'm Pam Pierson, and when Michelle asked me to review the Lenten series, I said sure, because of course, you always want to help out if somebody asks you to do something. And then I realized that it was poetry. It is Emily Dickinson and the Poetry of Lent, and I was like, uh-oh, because I know this probably isn't too cool to admit, but I really don't like poetry. I never have. But here is what's really cool about these materials is I realized I do like it. That poetry is just like verses of a song, and I've always liked that. So what I'd like to do is tell you a little bit about the materials, what the themes are, and how inspiring the Lenten series is. So the materials are really fun. Whoever wrote these did a great job of integrating ideas from the Bible verses that they ask you to read each day with a couple of Emily Dickinson poems. So they feed together really well. The materials for each day are about 2 pages, and it tells you which Bible verses to read and then which 2 poems of hers to read. Which, by the way, I thought it was easier to get them on, just pull them off Google rather than trying to get them out of a book. I did both, and Google was easier. But at any rate, so in the materials, each day's material is about 2 pages worth, and it has just a couple of paragraphs in a section called Meditate, and that's where they pull together the themes, and it's really well written, easy to follow, really well done. And then they have something called practices, and the practices are very creative. Every day there are options. I guess you could do them all, but there's an online option, there's an outdoor option, there's a writing or journaling option, and then there are activities. And just to give you a couple examples about just how creative and fun these are, one day the theme is art, how the resurrection of Jesus is portrayed in art, and they tell you to go online and find art that shows Jesus in both heaven and hell, or going from one to the other, and who knew, but there are a lot of paintings like that, and so that one was fun. Another day, there's a poem of Emily Dickinson's called A Little Bit Mad, and like going crazy mad, and so they have all these suggestions of things to do that are kind of crazy. And so the one for that day was to do a Zoom call with your friends where you tell only jokes in the Zoom call. The outdoor activities are really great. Like, for example, one of them was about this time of year to go on a walk and look for the buds that are just coming into the trees, or flowers, and to do the same walk for a couple of days and watch how the buds are changing day to day. Another one is when the flowers are in bloom, to go out and take your phone and take pictures of the flowers. And all of that ties in with whatever the Bible verses were and the poems were. The journal had journaling ideas were really great. One was, one day it was to make a list of kind things that people had done for you. Another day it was to write your own obituary, and of course reflect on if your life is going the direction that you wanted it to go. Another day it was to write yourself a letter, and it talks about both, pulls together how Paul wrote letters, and Emily Dickinson really liked to write letters, and some of the common themes in both of those. The activities were really fun. One day it was talking about how thinking about doing things differently, and it says have your dinner food for breakfast and your breakfast for dinner. Another day it's talking about the importance of community, and it suggests to play categories on a Zoom call with friends or family, and said that categories works really well on Zoom. So who knew? Another idea when they're talking about making the world a better place is to choose a book and donate it to a library, and the book has something that will make the world a better place. So just very creative ideas that again build on the readings that they've asked you to do. There were several themes that resonate throughout the materials. And again, they do a great job of highlighting the themes and integrating the readings and the activities and the practices. But the themes were joy, grief, love, and this was really an interesting way they looked at it, that look at all the ways that the world loves us by giving us air, sunshine, beautiful places to walk, sky and clouds to look at. That one was really fun. But other themes: gratitude, music, art, and then looking at who is Jesus. And it was just very, very thought-provoking. It talks about Jesus as a gracious liberator, liberating us from our burdens. So that all of the themes were fun. But as a skeptic who thought I didn't like poetry and found to my delight that it is kind of fun and cool, here is my final recommendation on the materials. I've never been a poetry fan, but Emily Dickinson inspired me to try my hand. It's true, Emily Dickinson I'll never be, because rhyming is hard for me. But Emily's poems in Lent are great. They make us think about our fate. You too can have some fun rapping like Emily Dickinson. Thanks.